It's been a good 2 years since we last celebrated the Chinese New Year, which is coming up at the end of this week. And when we did celebrate it, we were in Granville and we celebrated by cooking noodle soup. That didn't go so well. Of course, last year we didn't bother because it happened around the time that we were moving house. But now we're in Markenfield, I thought, why not celebrate it again? And I'm going to do it with food again. This time, I'm far more confident because we're going to do stir-fry. And that should work out okay because I have done that sort of many times before. So I'm not expecting a problem there, but you never know. There are several problems with this stir-fry thing. And the first thing is that I have two different pans. I have an omelette pan and I have this, which is a stir-fry pan. And the problem is, this stir-fry pan is quite large. In fact, it's too large, really, for the rings. For any of the rings, because this is now an electric hob that I'm using. This hob is the best, so I'm going to put it on that one. But don't be surprised if I'm turning on that one and that one as well, because the problem is that once you get the stir fry going, it only cooks in the middle, or it only hisses, you know, in one side of the pan, and that annoys me. So I will be using most of the hobs and just sort of using the whole thing as a bit of an auger, I'm afraid. It's an electric one, so that's one, that's two, and that's three. So I've now got that one there, and that one there on. So I can sort of go like this eventually. Now, the first thing that it always does, I don't know if you're picking this up, is it smokes. It always does that. Don't ask me why. It's just the first thing it does. Eventually the smoke clears. I don't know why it smokes. I don't put anything on it, so, you know. But anyway, whilst that's going, it's time to pour in a little oil. I try not to use too much oil, really, even as a stir fry. Because the juices of the vegetables themselves will cook it, and so will the sauce when I add the sauce anyway. So there we are. We've got a decision to make as to what we're going to have, because I have two different stir fries. The first one you might be able to see there, that is oriental bean, and the other one is water chestnut. They're both rather different. I like the idea of the beans in the oriental bean stir fry, so I might go for that today and do the other one tomorrow. I have to say, the other thing that I like, you might be able to see the rings heating up now, the other thing that I like is rice noodles, but there weren't any, so we're going to just have the normal egg noodles instead. I'm opening them so I can put them on that side. I'm going to open this one as well. There we are. And I still haven't got round to getting a wooden spoon or anything. So I'm still using exactly the same thing I was for the soup 2 years ago. For all time's sake. And whilst that's heating up, I'm just going to get my sauce as well. It's whatever that is. I think it's soy sauce of some sort. There we are. I might actually need some more of that after this time. I've nearly got the pan covered. It's quite a large pan. I don't know if this is like a huge pan or if this is just terribly small. This is quite an old cooker, it has to be said. Right, I'm going to start now. Let's see how much whether I can. I don't know if I can get it on. Ooh. Oh, I can get it on. Now good. Now, I know it looks like there's a lot there, but the thing with stir fry is that it soon, what it does is it sort of shrivels, and I don't know if it shrivels because it dries all the moisture out, because it doesn't feel like it dries the moisture out. It feels in fact more moist than before, but whatever it does, it's a bit like the case of boiling spinach. It just shrinks. Now I can see that this one's got carrot and cabbage, green cabbage, and it's got kale, and I think there's only one type of bean by the looks of it. Yeah, never mind. It's got bean sprouts, peppers. I can't see anything else. Oh, that's an onion, bit of onion. It's beginning to go flat already. And I like stir fry because so long as you don't use too much oil, it's not that unhealthy. And of course you can actually cook quite a lot of it and eat quite a lot of it. I find it's reasonably filling though. I mean, this will do me, but I'll probably have it in two separate sittings even. It also makes a nice noise, and the noise is different every time you add something new. Now this is beginning to get cooked now. It's browning underneath some of that stuff at the bottom. And it's when it browns that you need to think about adding the next ingredient. And the next ingredient for us is the noodles. And we use half, because I'm using the other half tomorrow with the other type of stir fry, which I won't be boring you with, I have to say. There we are. There we are. Egg noodles. Put that back in the fridge. And the idea is to open up the noodles so that you start to bring the veg on top and push the noodles underneath. This stops the veg burning because you don't want it burnt, and also mixes the noodles in properly and gets them closer to the bottom. Now the problem with stir fry is that I notoriously knock stuff out either side usually. I end up having more of it plastered onto my hobs afterwards than I did when I began. That's it, most of it's mixed in now. See what I mean? I've just done it there. Throw it all over the place. Now the final ingredient, when it starts to go quiet, like you can hear now, is the sauce. And I just drench it and you'll hear a very, very different kind of hiss. And I want to be using about half of that up, so I don't want the rest of it tomorrow. Maybe a little bit more than half. Whoops. Never mind. And now it will bubble for a bit. Yeah, this is where I end up going all over the place. There we are. Right onto the hob. That will burn in a minute. And it's ever so quick, you see. I've made now my main meal in absolutely no time at all. What, it's taken 8 minutes, but that was with the explanation and stuff before as well, so let's say about 5. There we are now, the smoke steam's coming up, that's about it I think, so I'm just going to move that out of the way. Get onto the bottom. You can see even that, there's been a little bit of burning on the bottom of the pan, which is not what you want. Make sure you turn these off because it's very easy to leave them on, and because I don't have a lot of workspace sometimes I happen to use that as a workspace, and I've melted things by accident before. Maybe that's what smokes. See, and that's the little bit of veg there that's about to go up in smoke. And I'm just going to pop that. I usually run this under cold water so that I don't burn myself. You have to excuse me. Oops. Not a lot of room in here. There we are. Just filling that with water. And I'm now going to go and enjoy my stir fry. Here it is. And I know that this is going to taste absolutely fantastic. Actually, it's quite hot. In fact, the air is incredibly cold, so this is not anywhere near as hot as it looks. Still a bit of crunch to it, which is what I like. But, and the beans are very nice. And in fact, the beans are quite an interesting addition. You can probably put almost anything into a stir fry. Now, I just like to have stir fry like this. I'd like a big plate of stir fry. But a lot of people often add meat to it, or use it as a bed for something on top. I don't bother. I just like. I could just eat a whole plate of this. But I have to say, prefer the rice noodles. They're lighter. The egg noodles are a bit heavy and stodgy, but there we are. The only difference is that the the rice noodles are white, much thinner, and they cook much quicker. So the mixing time that I did with the egg noodles, you sort of half with the rice noodles, otherwise they do burn. And that really is it. So, Happy New Year to all the Chinese. I don't happen to know that many, I have to say, but any excuse for a calendar event to celebrate. So, yes, there we are.